Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture.
And don't forget, you want to listen to the news as a podcast when you're out and about, you can find it by searching for WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. But coming up today, finally something good has come from CM Punk's pipe bomb back in the day.
I've got the latest betting odds for the Royal Rumble, and one of them is going to blow your wig off.
And some devastating news about a legend's participation in the Royal Rumble match. This is the news.
But we're going to kick things off by talking about one chick magnet Phil, CM Punk, for a refreshing change. He had some rather inappropriate, shall we say, words for The Miz on Twitter last night. So, to start at the beginning, The Miz was on WWE Backstage last night. WWE on Fox, that popular Twitter account, tweeted out a clip of him chatting with Paige and host Renee Young. He said, "I feel like this was the best WWE Backstage episode ever." It was the best. Was it the best ever? They then bantered back and forth a little bit. Renee Young said, the 19th of November with Ember Moon, that was pretty good. To which The Miz replied, "Oh, sorry, I didn't change the culture." Obviously, that is addressing Punk directly following Punk's debut, which I think was on November 12th, the week before Renee was talking about. Punk didn't take kindly to this. He reacted, well, terribly, in fact. He quote tweeted the video from WWE on Fox with this Miz quote and said, and this has since been deleted, "Go suck a blood money covered that word in Saudi Arabia, you effing dork." His words directly on Twitter, a little screenshot here, courtesy of Sliced Wrestling on Twitter. And man, that is an extreme response to a harmless in-character barb from The Miz on WWE Backstage. What's he doing?
Tough night, was it, Phil?
Yeah, having a rough time at the moment,
for that,
buddy.
We're saying in the opposite. It's like me coming in and going, "Morning, Baldy," to him and him going, "You go and die." It's like, Jesus, all right. What's this? Like, it's really soured me on CM Punk, this. Like you say, it's not, well, if anyone has the right to be more annoyed with Miz than CM Punk, it's me. That's my gimmick. Is this the best episode of the WWE Backstage ever? Right? But, like you say, it's completely in character. He's an arrogant heel who thinks he is he's like, oh, well, it's obviously had me on, so it's the best, and he's just going to have it's the lightest of jabs.
Yeah, and Punk can't,
Jesus, Phil.
The Miz comes in and tickles him a little bit, and CM Punk comes through and breaks his neck. There's obvious homophobic allusions in this as well. Like, you shouldn't be tweeting insults like that, regardless of who you are, let alone CM goddamn Punk. But my God, man, what is going on with this? What is going on? This is a guy who just a few months ago was telling Seth Rollins to log off his Twitter. This is worse than anything Seth ever did.
You said yourself, he's very thin-skinned.
Yeah.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Remember when you were younger, you used to do a thing where you'd walk behind someone and kick their back leg into their other leg, so they sort of stumbled a bit. Yeah. Right? I remember when I was going to school once with a mate of mine, I did that to him and he turned around and headbutted me. Right? It's that, but in Twitter form. It's like, all right, mate. Yeah, I'm not sure this is a good thing. There's so many problematic things in this single tweet. Yeah. Delete your account, CM Punk. Seth Rollins, you're right now.
I'm a bit dumbfounded by this whole thing. It's just, why? Why has this happened?
And the thing is, it was all going so well because remember CM Punk's pipe bomb promo? Not a lot changed in WWE subsequent to that, but only 9 years after that, we've finally seen some change, and it's the slightest WWE change you can probably expect because the ice cream bars that CM Punk demanded as part of those pipe bombs that he dropped back in 2011 are finally coming back. Well, sort of. They're not ice cream bars, they're ice cream cookie sandwiches things. Vanilla, frozen dairy dessert between two vanilla wafers to be exact. But the Good Humor Ice Cream Company has added the new ice cream treats to the website. There's no word yet on when the treats are going to be released, but they're 4 in a box, which we can share around the WhatCulture office. They've got the likes of Roman Reigns, John Cena, Becky Lynch, and Hall of Famer Randy Savage on there, amongst others. But we're finally getting the ice cream bars that CM Punk demanded, although I don't think he deserves them now.
Yeah, you're not getting an ice cream, Phil. Sorry, mate.
I've never had an ice cream sandwich, have you?
I have, yeah. What's the
good?
one? They sell one in the UK with a little cookie and then a chocolate bit on the end. What are they called? Matzo ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. So, like, this is a nice little tonal shift after the horrors of the first story. We're now getting nice and light and fluffy. It's like a Marvel film here on What Culture News today. I guess I'm excited for some ice cream. I like ice cream. I like wrestling. Put the two together. Pretty good, I guess. There's not really a whole lot to pick apart here. The original brand of WWE ice cream treats, I think, ran from 1987, the year of my birth, through until like 2008, and then Punk in 2011 was like, hey, you want me to sign a new contract? You want me to not leave with the WWE title? Bring back the ice cream.
Do you know what I was going to say then? I was going to say, like, hey, if you see them where you are, if you can only get them in America, send them to us. That won't work, will it? You can't, you can't post us ice cream. We'll keep an eye out.
Actually, please do that. I'd like to see the male people downstairs.
Soggy bag.
Yeah. Here you go, got your mail.
What culture again?
Do it, please do it.
But good news at least.
Yeah, I'll give you a high five on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we'll do. Also, speaking of CM Punk, we're going to move on to the Royal Rumble betting odds. CM Punk isn't even in the goddamn match, but he is the third favourite according to online bookie Bet Online. His odds are currently listed at 6-1. He is behind Roman Reigns at 7-4, no surprises there, and Brock Lesnar at 9-2, no surprises there in the pecking order. He's the third favourite, he's not in the match, he's probably not going to be in the match, but that hasn't stopped the sites listing him. Just beneath those guys are Kevin Owens at 7-1, Cain Velasquez at 8-1, Drew McIntyre, a lot of fans' favourite picks for the match at 10-1, and Bray Wyatt, if he wants to do a Lesnar, he's at 14-1. Also, 100-1, Rob Gronkowski. So
honestly, I mentioned this yesterday, but it bears repeating. Rob Gronkowski, 100-1. Stone Cold Steve Austin's like up there. The Rock I saw somewhere was 33-1 on one website. Yeah. Right? Titus O'Neil, a working WWE wrestler, has worse odds than all of them. Worse odds than ex-Premier League footballer Grant Holt, who's dabbled in wrestling, and worse odds than Goldust and Chris Jericho, who, in case you haven't noticed, don't work for WWE anymore.
Also with better odds than Titus O'Neil are Florence Pugh, Babu Frick, and Tony Bone, who doesn't even exist.
Oh,
hello.
I'm genuinely devastated, but it's not wide open, but there are at least a few. I feel like last year everyone was like, it's either going to be Seth Rollins or maybe at a long shot Braun Strowman. Yeah. And everyone seems to suggest it's probably going to be Shayna Baszler for the women and probably Roman for the men. Yeah. But this would suggest it's not completely done yet.
Yeah, I think you could make a case for any of the names we've just mentioned, apart from Rob Gronkowski, Florence Pugh, Tony Bowen, and
apparently Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
What's he ever done?
Yeah.
Apart from grab Vince's up, we remember. Anyway,
fell over.
Let's move on and talk a little bit more about the Royal Rumble, though, because Edge is another name that has been circulating round for a while. Conflicting reports seemingly every week that Edge has been cleared to wrestle and compete for WWE again, and then every week Edge tweets out, no. That's not a thing. But a courtesy of the Wrestling Observer, they can kind of start to put those rumours to bed, at the very least of him winning or eliminating Brock Lesnar, leading to a WrestleMania match. Because any talk of Edge facing Paul Heyman's Beast at the Showcase of the Immortals is completely false. Edge will not be heading to WrestleMania and facing Brock Lesnar, which is probably best for the bloke with a dodgy neck.
Yeah, probably a good shout. I saw it actually pointed out on Twitter yesterday by Tom Colohue of Sportskeeda and Daily DDT. Like, a lot of people sit around saying that you Edge in this match, you can be protected, you can take it easy and stuff. Well, that's not really how wrestling works. Disaster is only ever one bump away, no matter how innocuous it may be. So, yeah, thinking about it from that perspective, it's probably for the best.
And I feel like anytime an associate, don't worry, we can protect them in a match where you have to be thrown over the top rope.
Yeah.
Let's not risk it, shall we?
Yeah.
He had a lovely send-off, and if he is cleared, and maybe he can pop back and spear the odd people like he did with Elias, that's fine. But don't go, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah,
because we all know what the worst that could happen could be. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCultureWW. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us. Tom Weston starts off. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, actually, Tom Weston says, with everyone saying that Shane is going to win the Rumble, has no one thought about the possibility of Asuka beating Becky Lynch, setting up Shayna versus Asuka at WrestleMania, the two dominant champions of NXT?
A very interesting perspective, because I think a lot of people assume that Becky beating Asuka is just a sure thing. For me, I would actually like to see that, because one of the most compelling storylines in wrestling for me, and it's a very simple one, is the monkey on the back. I cannot beat this wrestler. This wrestler has my number. For now, at the moment, that's Asuka to Becky. So if Asuka beats her twice, that compounds that and leads to a bigger payoff later down the line. I am totally into this. I'm 100% into this. You could argue that Becky versus Shayna would be a bigger match for WrestleMania, and at this stage it certainly is. But from a narrative perspective, yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and there was a bit of me that said, oh, just have a screwy finish and make it a triple threat, but then I realised that's exactly what we had at WrestleMania last year, so we can't really do that. And I sense that as much as that match would be phenomenal, and maybe something we can visit further down the line, considering Shayna is she's not all the time, obviously she's cut promos, but I'd say she's more of the strong and silent type than Becky Lynch is, who just comes out there and goes, I'll fight anybody. Sorry, really bad. And with Asuka obviously just sort of shouting in Japanese now on Monday Night Raw, I sense it's probably going to be a win for Becky in the whole 1 year as Raw Women's Champion. Exiled SJ gives us our second question of the day. It says, what if at the Royal Rumble, I like this by the way, it takes 5 guys to throw Lesnar over the top rope. Those 5 guys in an Elimination Chamber match, well, presumably including Brock Lesnar. Which 5 guys do you pick?
That is outstanding. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's a really creative piece of booking and a really good way to set up an important match for the next pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber. Which 5 guys do you pick? Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens,
Samoa Joe?
Seth
Rollins would be an intriguing little, like, you need a few.
And how about some flippy guy? How about Ricochet?
Yeah.
Get some flippy guys flipping around that cell.
Or, like, 4 of them, like, Owens, Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and then just, like, some bloke who happens to be there, like Dio Madden or something. Just like,
Babatunde!
Yeah. Like, we all remember the classic sort of Santino Marella Elimination Chamber where we're like, is he going to win?
Yeah. That was really well done as well.
So you could have something like that.
Oh my God, Dio Madden's the champion. I might have.
Who knows? Let's be honest, in modern day WWE, we can't rule anything out. Final question today comes from J Trey and A Trey on Twitter, who say, now that Balor is back to his Prince status, could you see him starting a faction, perhaps with the likes of Killian Dane, Pete Dunne, Jordan Devlin, or even someone like Ilya Dragunov?
Interesting perspective. I think him doing a heel faction while the Undisputed Era exists is probably a long shot, particularly as, like, if you're going to include NXT UK in that universe, you have Imperium as well. However, you know, I could see Undisputed Era running face at some point, right? I mean, they're really good, cheeky little scamp heels, but they're very over and they're very popular, and if you turn them face, it would be a big hit. So if that happens, yes, I could see that. A guy like Pete Dunne, I think, would fit in extremely well. A guy like Jordan Devlin.
Anything that gets more Jordan Devlin on my TV, I'm behind.
Devlin's the perfect guy, isn't he? Because of their history, Balor trained him and all that stuff. And Devlin's like one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world right now as well. Yeah.
I'll fight anybody.
Don't do that to me again, brother. Don't do that to me again.
Who knows?
Shall we move on to our app finally?
Please.
So this one comes to us via Twitter today, and this is something that may have done the rounds online within the past couple of years, but it's resurfaced today via the WWF on the 90s, or WWE in the 90s Twitter account. It's an interview with Steve Austin in character from a WWF magazine back in the day. It's totally in character, it's totally done as a heel. The answers to this thing are completely ridiculous and indeed an absolute hoot. So to give you a sample of a few of my favourite ones, I mean, there's a couple of basic ones. He says his favourite band are, I listened to Slayer before I had to throw my stereo against the wall because a Michael Bolton music marathon came on. His favourite TV show is Raw because he's on it, but I've picked out 4 of my favourites here.
Okay.
4 of my favourites. Who do you think Steve Austin's favourite cartoon character is?
Oh, Wile E. Coyote.
Shawn Michaels. For favourite actress, and here he comes, good old Steve Austin. I'm sure he wrote this himself. He definitely didn't. He said, I don't have any favourite actresses. Chicks can't act worth a split. All right, CM Punk. And his favourite video game, he says, is, I don't have time to play with no stupid Donkey Kong when there are real asses that are waiting to be kicked around. So take that, nerds. And my favourite bit of all...
I don't know what dates that more, the fact the blatant sexism or Donkey Kong being a reference.
Yeah. Like, what are you up to? Cool spot. Take that, cool spot. But my favourite bit of all is his answer for his favourite hobbies. He says, driving around in my car while laughing at the homeless people and the 9-to-5 working class bums. So at least we know where MJF got some of his promo material from. This whole thing's a hoot. If you want to check it out, I retweeted it this morning at Andy H. Murray. Check my profile on Twitter. Cheap Pop. Are you okay, mate?
That's really messed me up, that last answer.
Driving around in my car while laughing
at homeless people.
It's like that.
Yep, that's a heel thing.
It's like that Danny DeVito bit from Always Sunny. Oh, how do you like that taste of the good life, you sucker? Anyway.
Let us know your thoughts on that and alternate news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. On either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. Myself and the Dally Boys, we're doing a Wednesday Night War preview. A little bit later on today. Plus, you let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Watch them. Follow both of us. Follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hey!
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. Well, thanks, Andy Murray. Thank you for watching. And we will see you soon.
Secret talent. I can plant a man's head where the sun doesn't shine. How's that for talent, son? Steve Austin. Oh, it's gone.